that was notable on the show floor. Nothing else comes to mind. So all I gotta say is, oh yeah.
Any other character reveals?
Oh yeah. Wait, no, hold on a minute. There was Abigail. So look, Abigail. All right, guys.
Yeah, no, Wooly. What's your hot take, Wooly? Wooly likes to douse this fire a little bit.
I want to hear your fucking hot take.
It's not even about dousing the fire. It's about the simple fact that they went back to a Final Fight boss.
Yeah, that's cool.
And pulled him out.
I think they went back to the wrong one.
I think that's awesome, and I'm glad they went to an obscure Capcom character.
I'm glad that they did.
Because it's the type of choice we joke about. We joke about these things becoming a reality. Like, we go, fucking Abigail might have been a joke somewhere in the last 2-3 years, you know? We saw artwork of what he looked like in the
Street Fighter V blog.
And
he looked fine.
Yeah.
A little plain, even.
A little Hugo-esque, and I guess you got to make some distinctions. Now, do you remember when they talked to Ono about why Seth from Street Fighter 4 looked the way he looked?
I don't recall the specifics.
I don't remember, actually.
They asked him about it, and
like why he's a naked, muscly man, or why he's like blue.
What went into the design? Yeah. And his whole thing was, we wanted him to look like a big, strong, muscly man that represents the apex of fighting ability. We wanted him to be intimidating to you and to show you that, like, this is no ordinary fighter that you're fighting or whatever.
Sure.
And so. And then that interview went on, and I forget like the second and follow up questions, but I remember that it basically led to the idea of like, this is why Urien and Gil are the same designs and the way they look like, where that's their
They're
vision,
the Greek
right?
ideal.
And then you kind of look at Ono's things as well with like Saturday Night Slam Masters and the pretty much the already existing Rufus and Fuerte that were in that game, and he really likes big muscles.
Yes.
Is a thing. So I think there's some of this taste.
You know who has big muscles? Alex.
Alex has
That's
pretty big muscles.
That's a perfectly nice, handsome boy.
You know
that has
bigger
big
muscles?
Hugo.
And Array.
And that was the pure limit that we thought on muscles and hugeness.
But then at some point, we got into meme level fucking territory, or just like fetish territory of
fetish territory.
Turn that juice up a little bit more. Okay, keep it going. Does the slider have another slider? No.
Yes, there's another knob underneath that says Scott Steiner.
And then you go past Scott Steiner and you get to Ripping Friends. And then you go past Ripping Friends and you get to Stunt Dogs. And now we're at Stunt Dogs level, and they really, really didn't need to put Huge Quest in Street Fighter.
His arm is bigger than most of the cast.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's bigger than 4 of his heads.
Yes.
See, the issue isn't even
design looks deformed
with the tires on his bicep.
So I like
the Canadian maple leaf hair. Those are fun.
Here's the thing. I'm working on a video why I like the thing on Final Fight, and I go, man, sure it would be nice if we could get another Final Fight character.
I'll
and
throw that video in the garbage.
No, I'll just go like, look what they did. Anyway, so I like that it's an obscure Final Fight boss, like you said, and I like that Abigail is just a fucking recolor of Ondora.
Thank you. That's
Hugo,
right? I'm not trying to douse the fire. I'm just trying to make sure that we recognize the part that Abigail is a cool choice here. Don't let's not get lost in how dumb he looks to go
cool choice in that they picked a guy that was simply like they could have taken Damned / Thrasher or Belger, something at least a little people more remember.
I think the size was the most appealing reason as to why they went to Abigail was he was listed as 8 feet tall. And they go, ooh, we can mechanically design something interesting.
That's interesting, kind of like
Aghanos.
Whereas Thrasher is a dreadlock black guy.
Yeah.
And he does blanket balls.
No, for sure.
Both of which we got rid of and or already have taken care of.
But you were saying before there's like a rumor that maybe you can't jump over Abigail. There's
which is been
disproven. Okay.
What, you jump through him? Like
can't jump over him.
The fact that his standing size was so high that your character height wouldn't be able to make over it was a rumor flying around, or that he couldn't be thrown, or that cross-ups would hit so early that he could punish them. But either way, no.
So that's not a thing. But like, I do like, oh, let's make a character that's so massive. Like, yeah, it lends itself to being different. But like, the model itself is hideous. Like it people nailed it. And I was like, what does this remind me of? And it looks like a Bobo or a Bubo in the SNK Double Dragon Fighter.
It looks
like that's who he looks like.
It looks like fucking the heavy ripoff that's in goddamn what's that game Randy Pitchford made?
Battleborn.
Sure, or like a Weird Bane where your lats are bigger.
He looks like an Image. Bruiser,
Bad Rock,
like
exactly.
Bad Rock or Pit.
So the way
Feldian Nightmare,
the image bruisers always had the same thing going for them, where they had a tiny head in the middle of a body that was like massive. A circle around their neck.
Yeah, Maul from Wildcats.
Shoulders up by their sides, but like, and you think about like the way like Marvel has like Juggernaut, for example, and Juggernaut's got this big ridiculous helmet, but
that balances out his body structure.
But you didn't really get that like super shrunken head and super tiny legs, and then again stunt dogs bodies, you know.
Simon Belmont.
That's I think the issue, and then so we already got some people shrinking the design down. The guy who did Hyper DBZ,
the Hyper DBZ, and one of the artists of Owlboy did. You retweeted that one,
exactly.
Where he's like, "Well, let's use the tire thing," because I like the tires. I like to say
his intro where he comes in and he goes like vroom, 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 and he hits the brakes. That's fun.
I like his stage. The music is good too. It's a nice
play long enough and the sun rises.
It's cool.
That's really cool. And you know, again, like. I fully wouldn't have expected them to necessarily go back to Final Fight in that way. I really wouldn't have. And if the rumors are true, we're going to get Rose's student who showed up in Ed's story mode.
Yeah, along with Abigail a month or two ago, there was like people were like, yeah, it's going to be Abigail from Street Fighter 5. It's going to be Rose's student, and I think one more.
Yeah, the last one's Zeku.
Zeku, yeah.
The teacher that Guy has that shows up in his alpha ending where he wears green and he's got big white hair. It's pretty cool.
And with Abigail, like that's the list then.
That's it.
Capcom's great at confirming leaks.
So, I mean, he's another pick that like I don't imagine people are going to be super excited for.
Who's Zeku?
But I think Zeku's a fucking awesome choice.
Yeah.
Zeku's a really cool character that I remember showing up and I'm like, oh man, that guy.
I've wanted a Canadian Street Fighter for so long.
Well, that's why I want Maple Storm.
For so long.
Why can't Maple Storm be in the game?
And I finally get it, and it's the only one I'm ever going to get for sure.
What?
And it's Abigail. Like,
what do you mean?
Canadian Street Fighter.
He's not Canadian.
He's got a maple leaf mohawk.
But does it?
Yes. In his bio.
Wait, is this a bit?
Canada.
No.
Abigail's hyper Canadian.
Does it say in a bio?
Yeah. His move is called the Ontario Drop.
I didn't see any of these details. I did not know about that at all.
Abigail is super Canadian.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So that's why
he's always been
That's
Canadian.
why I'm like, why are you saying this? We could have Maple Storm from the rest
No.
His
hair mohawk is a maple leaf.
You said that before, and I was like, oh yeah, it probably looks like a maple leaf, I guess.
No, the whole bit is that he's a Canadian giant man.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the name of his moves or anything. I just watched the trailer.
One of his moves is called the Ontario Drop.
That's cool.
This is a bummer.
Okay, so you haven't said anything. So
about Abigail. Well, you said a little bit.
I said what I needed to say.
All right.
He looks like a fucking I like big characters. I like Hugo, right? I think Aganos is cool, but his body structure and the art, like his gameplay design, cool. The way he works, cool. The art, horrible.
Yeah.
Especially his win pose, where you see everything wrong with his head's model, as he's got that super weird gummy smile that looks like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, the smile's not great.
And the alternate costumes look all right.
The alternate costumes help out. They do look a bit cool.
Yes, they do help out. But
okay, Rufus or Abigail?
Rufus.
Okay.
What, in terms of...
I'd rather have Rufus.
Okay, Abigail or Fong?
Fong over everybody. Fong's fine.
Okay.
I never had a problem with Fong.
Okay, because I remember, like, I did warm up to Fong with a lot of his alternate costumes as well. I eventually did.
Fong's a weirdo, but
and I warmed up to Rufus enough to be like, "Yep, well, I'm just used to it," you know.
Maybe I'm just used to it.
But I do imagine in the end we'll get used to Abigail because he's here, and they really, really wanted those biceps to be genetic freak biceps. So,
and it's one of those things where it's not like they showed him early and he's coming out in 3 months. He's coming out in a week and a half. So it's they can't even
on the
try to fix him if they wanted.
So yeah, I guess
that makes me sad.
Nostalgia costumes back after almost a year and a half of just not being talked about.
I wanted to discuss his mechanics, but does anyone care?
I mean, he
big.
punches and he does cool flips.
He's got a parry equivalent, right?
Yeah, they broke down his systems, and
cool.
there's some interesting stuff there. But if no one wants to talk about that, that's fine.
Well, why don't we talk about when he's out, and then we can actually play around with him.
He's got a mechanic where you pick him and the other player leaves.
So he's got off of his command run, he has
and then you leave.
What's interesting is that off of his armored command run, he has Big Bang-esque options where he's got the big hit, he's got the overhead, he's got the command grab, and he's got his parry. So when he's running at you, your options are very limited, and that's interesting.
I do like his super.
His super is really fun. He juggles you like a speed bag.
I like that he's got a variation of Hugo's wall throw.
Yep.
But it's a slap instead of an actual throw.
And then he's got the move that came straight out of his final fight
where he just throws you,
picks
in the
you up,
air,
and you just
and
fall.
Then you just fall.
Yeah. But no, again, so that whole the idea of the armor run and then the EX armor run taking 2 hits, and then it's okay, fuck, do I jump? Well, you're getting punched. Do I block it? You're getting thrown. Do I hit it? You're getting parried. That's a cool little.
It's like a weird, gigantic Hugo Forte.
Also, I can't wait to see what kind of ridiculous combos are only possible on Abigail.
Oh my god, it's good. He's probably going to be trash.
Well, the problem with giant characters in every game is that they get instant overheaded. And if you have the ability to confirm that into anything, then it's free, right? Sentinel in Marvel was a disgusting beast, but he loses to people who just jump and hit a button a lot of the time.
Now, I don't know a lot, but what I'd like to think is that when a game is very, very structured around the competitive scene like Street Fighter V is, they would test that type of thing. They would have some type of thought behind it when they make a giant character.
Desk has a motor right now. Thinking
Look,
about
the biggest combo dummy ever.
The biggest training dummy of all time.
Punch this wall. It's right there.
Gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right. Well, anyway, that got excited. That got announced. The actual tournament.